Regular season is over, the stage is set, and the playoffs are upon us. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Let's Talk Raptors. I'm your host, Hisham, my channel where you get reviews, analysis, predictions, and hot takes on all things Raptors as well as some NBA. So the Raptors played their 82nd game today against the New York Knicks in the Garden, and the Raptors played this game like anybody else would, who have everything set up in regards to the playoffs. So without a further ado, let's talk Raptor versus Knicks and some other stuff. So this video is going to be pretty brief. First of all, we played the New York Knicks, man. It didn't really matter. It seemed like Obi Toppin and I think his name is Emmanuel quickly or something like that. They are good players for the Knicks. I think they have some potential for the Knicks going forward if they're utilized properly. But that organization is a shit fest. Every time I watch the game against New York Knicks, I'm just thinking how much Stephen A. Smith is hating these Knicks right now because they are garbage. And it's not the players, it's the organization themselves. They just don't know how to manage themselves. But today they ended up winning the game, and it was because we didn't really play anybody. We played our, Gary Trent Jr. for a few, 20-25 minutes. OG will be coming back from the injury. He was given a few minutes here in order to get in a little bit of rhythm going. And, Precious was given a run. Chris Boucher. We pretty much used everybody we had in our roster just to get them a little bit of play time before we go into the playoffs. So there isn't much about the game. Highlights: Obi Toppin was playing above the rim, and he had some sweet alley-oops. But I think the alley-oop of the game, or the highlight of the game, was from the Raptors, where Malachi Flynn on a fast break with Precious Achiuwa tosses it off from 35 feet away from the basket to Achiuwa, and Achiuwa two-hand slams it in the Knicks' face. The game went back and forth, and in the I think it was mid-fourth quarter when the Raptors just started playing their bench pretty much, or reserves, and the Knicks take the lead, 10-point lead, and eventually they win the game. So there wasn't much about this game. It was the last game of the season, so you expected the Raptors to rest a lot of their players because they're going to be in the playoffs in the next 5-6 days. I think the schedule comes out tonight, so we'll find out. But it was important for the guys to get some run, so there's not many key takeaways, and I'm going to reserve some of my key takeaways, especially for the playoff predictions and stuff like that, for my next video. So key takeaway, guys, overall for the regular season is that the Raptors were a team that had adversity. They dealt with a lot of things: injuries, COVID, no fans in the start of the season, Pascal coming off of an injury, Freddie pretty much struggling with his knee throughout the whole season, OG Anunoby not really. He played like 40 games. That's half the game, and he's your major defensive, person, and then not really having any production from the bench. But it seems like the Raptors brought it all together by, after the All-Star game, going into the All-Star game, actually. And they were a team that ended up where they were supposed to end up. Now, fifth seed, we could have probably done a little bit better, especially if we didn't have all their injuries and if we had all of our guys. But you could say that about all of the teams. So the Raptors ended up in the playoffs, and that's where they've been for the past 9 years. Maybe they missed the Tampa freaking year, but other than that, Raptors have always had a good regular season. They've been a team that's usually finished 15 to 20 games above 500, and they did the same thing today. They were, this season. So the Raptors are a team to be reckoned with, especially going to the playoffs. And I'll go, like I said, in more detail in my next video where I do the predictions for my playoffs. And it seems like the Raptors, the second key takeaway is that the Raptors are going to be playing the Philadelphia 76ers. And that is freaking amazing because we want Philly. With all the doubts, and again, more details in my next video. I'm going to keep you guys, leave some suspense in here. And the last key takeaway is nothing to do with the games. It's just a dumbass, rumor that's out there, which is that the Lakers are going to make a phone call to ask if Nick Nurse is available. So let me answer it for you, Lakers. Hell nah. Okay? Nick Nurse is a coach. First of all, this guy won Coach of the Year when we lost Kawhi Leonard. So it shows he has the ability to coach players that are not superstars. He won a championship in his first year as a rookie coach, coming in with a superstar who had knee issues, who had a bad reputation in Kawhi Leonard, taking us to the championship and shutting off the, now considered the best player in the game, Giannis Antetokounmpo, completely out of the playoffs, completely out of the series with his coaching. And he's with what he's done with the Raptors, do the adversity the Raptors face, and ending up in the 5th spot this year with the competition of Brooklyn, Chicago, East being so loaded. He ended up getting us to the 5th seed. He's in consideration for the coach of the year this year. So why the hell would he leave, first of all? And why the hell would the Raptors let him leave for a team that, first of all, is likely going to be run by LeBron James? That's how he does things. Then that has issues with superstar egos. And the management is made up of family and friends. He's not that type of guy. Nick Nurse is a very professional guy. He is a defensive-oriented coach. He works with players to get them to the stage where he wants them at, and he's the one who runs things. And that's how the Raptors have allowed him to do things, and that's why the team has flourished under his coaching. Yes, he has shitty, decision-making every now and then, but you give him that. And he tends to figure things out. And this year, he's taken strides a lot more that I think were better, where he's given guys a longer stretch, try to get in rhythm, giving them more chances, giving them more minutes, and believing in them before pulling the plug on them, kind of like Shurim, Mihailuk, and those guys. So do the Lakers really, really think that the Raptors would let Nick Nurse go, especially after the production and how much the guys, love that guy as well, and what he's done for this organization? Unless the Lakers are willing to offer him a considerable amount of money, but they're going to end up having to pay the fine because Nick Nurse is signed with the Raptors. I think it's for the next 5 years or so. So what are you doing, Lakers? Why would you even put that dumbass rumor out there? And it's when Ramona Shelburne kind of, gave it some oomph because she's a reputable, a journalist. So, but it's never going to happen. Lakers are a joke. Nick Nurse is way, way beyond their standard. I think they should just hire Phil Jackson if they're that desperate. Clearly, he's in, he has good with Jeannie Buss and the Family and Friends organization there, and get away from Lakers. I mean, get away from Nick Nurse and the Raptors. It's like Lakers are just after everybody in the Raptors. Gary Trent Jr., Nick Nurse, Chris Boucher, all these guys. Like, Lakers, you're a freaking joke. Get your shit together and then come back to the table. You ain't getting Nick Nurse. So that's what I had to, that's what I think about that rumor. And I wanted to address that in this video, especially given that there was not much content in regard to the Knicks. But that's all I have for you guys for this video. Do stay tuned because the next video on the playoffs is going to be damn good in analysis and everything. I promise you guys that. Please hit that like and subscribe button, and I will see you guys in my next video.